Honestly, it's probably the first time that I can't even be bothered to give my opinion on the scorecards because I'm just blown away by what Conor Benn did tonight. Respect to Eubank. I mean, he was incredibly tough as well, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. I've never seen a fighter dig in that situation.
Really good fight. I think it was a lot closer than what it was. Commend Conor Benn immensely because he put on an amazing performance.
I don't think people put enough credit on the boxing ability, for me. Doing 10 rounds, doing 12 rounds, I'm well conditioned.
The fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn has caused a big stir in the boxing world. Eubank Jr. won by unanimous decision, with all three judges scoring the fight 116-100 and 12 in his favor. However, many boxing fans and experts felt the fight was much closer and believe Conor Benn deserved a better score. Some are even saying he was unfairly treated. This has led to strong criticism of the judges and calls for more fairness and transparency in how boxing matches are scored.
We have a result in the fight of the night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The middleweight contest between these two British middleweights.
112, the winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to swallow, man. Yeah. It's a hard one to swallow. I mean, obviously, I didn't come into the fight thinking it would be that close. I didn't come into the fight to lose. I didn't come in the fight for anything apart from winning. And obviously, it weren't good enough. So I need to do better.
After Eubank Jr. won by unanimous decision, with all three judges scoring the fight in his favor, many boxing experts spoke out, saying the scores didn't truly show how close the fight was. The match, held at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, was also special because it brought back the famous rivalry from the 1990s between their fathers, Chris Eubank Senior and Nigel Benn.
Oh my, how good was it, Johnny? Yesterday you did an appeal down the camera to Chris Eubank Senior, and I know you spoke to him this morning just how good it is that he's in the house. He's here with Chris's son.
Anna, seeing these pictures put a lump in my throat. That's a father and son, not a manager and a fighter, not a promoter and a fighter, a father and son. So regardless of what has gone on between them, Chris understands the importance of being here tonight for his son. And that was our conversation, and that was all. Just to remind him, that's your son, regardless.
So you're saying you made the difference, Johnny?
No. Just reminded him who he was.
Very quickly, psychologically, Conor Benn is watching on of that rival. What's that going to do? How is that going to get inside his head?
For those pictures we saw of Nigel and Conor watching, I am telling you, it's like, uh-oh. It's uh-oh, because now he's got his army.
I mean, the crowd here, when Senior was shown, they went wild.
The fight, called Fatal Fury, was first planned for October 2022, but got delayed because Conor Benn failed a drug test for clomiphene, a banned substance. After a full investigation, the World Boxing Council cleared Benn, and the fight was rescheduled for April 26, 2025 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Around 65,000 fans came to watch, excited to see the next chapter in the Eubank-Benn rivalry.
You were able to take his punches. As you said, you hurt him a few times. He's on his way to the hospital, apparently with a broken jaw. So all of the things that people were saying you couldn't do, you did. What do you think was the margin that actually was difficult for you, or maybe swayed it the other way?
I don't think people put enough credit on the boxing ability, for me. Doing 10 rounds, doing 12 rounds, I'm well conditioned, and I can box. I haven't always got to knock out my opponents. Well, evidently I have, but I mean, I can do 12 rounds.
The recent fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. has reminded many fans of the famous 2008 match between Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. In that fight, Pacquiao moved up 2 weight classes to take on De La Hoya, who had won titles in 6 divisions. Even though people thought Pacquiao might struggle because of the size difference, his speed and skill were too much for De La Hoya, and the fight ended when De La Hoya's team stopped it before the 9th round. In a similar way, Conor Benn, usually a welterweight, moved up to fight middleweight Eubank Jr. Even though Eubank had the size and experience edge, Benn impressed many with his strength and determination.
I will be putting a bag on Conor Benn, and here's why. I believe we've seen this type of fight before. The similarities are unreal. 2008. A 29-year-old Manny Pacquiao faced a 35-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the favorite in that fight against Manny Pacquiao because not only was Oscar De La Hoya an experienced and fantastic fighter, he was just naturally the bigger man, and they thought Manny Pacquiao was insane. Chris Eubank Jr., as the bigger man and skilled fighter, people are seeing him as the favorite. And me too, I am predicting a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But where I'm going to put my money is going to be on Conor Benn because of the history, the similarities of what we saw in 2008 with Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. No, Conor Benn is no Manny Pacquiao, but don't get it confused. Chris Eubank Jr. is definitely no Oscar De La Hoya.
British rapper and boxing fan Dizzy Rascal called the fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn mental, pointing out how intense and emotional it was. He praised both fighters for their strength and determination, saying the fight was a great way to carry on their father's famous rivalry. Dizzy also said the match was very important for British boxing and called it a classic that truly lived up to the excitement.
The century, innit? Look at this. Mental. Beautiful.
Only boxing does this?
I don't know about that. I reckon football does. It's just football stadium, innit? So, yeah.
Well, we're all on the pitch today. Talk us through what you feel about the Benn Eubank fight. Talk us through what you feel about it.
I don't know, man. I love them both, man. Yeah. I don't even want to see anyone lose, man. Watching what Junior's had to go through, like, with the hydration and all that, it's gonna be interesting, man. I just hope he's well. And there's a rematch clause anyway, I heard anyway. So yeah, we'll back
a controversial split points decision, okay. And then they'll do it again.
All right. That's all right. It sounds like it's already written then, innit? I don't know. Yeah, man. It's good to be here though, man. Good.
It's always great to have you at the boxing. Thank you, Dizzy Rascal.
Eddie Hearn had an emotional reaction after Chris Eubank Jr. beat Conor Benn. As the promoter, he had been closely involved in building up this big fight, and watching the tough battle left him clearly moved. Hearn showed respect for both fighters, praising their heart and determination. But his emotions were strongest when he talked about the personal meaning behind the fight.
Emotional, that?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of him, honestly. It's probably the first time that I can't even be bothered to give my opinion on the scorecards because I'm just blown away by what Conor Benn did tonight. Respect to Eubank. I mean, he was incredibly tough as well, but I just can't believe the heart and guts. I've never seen a fighter dig in that situation with the size of that challenge, literally, and just never stop trying to win. Like even in the 11th and 12th round when he had nothing else.
For Eubank Jr., the win was more than just a career success. It was a moment of redemption and proof of his hard work. Eddie Hearn was deeply moved by the fight and its meaning, recognizing how important it was for both fighters, their families, and the fans who had followed their journey.
Chris Eubank Jr. is very, very dangerous with that right hand, and that right uppercut that he throws is a lethal shot as well. If Conor comes in square with that, it may be his own undoing. So all Eubank's got to do is just hold his ground, let him come, create the space a little bit, and that's probably, he hasn't got to go looking for him.
Again, it's down to levels. I just feel that Eubanks has boxed at a higher level. He's boxed DeGale, he's boxed George Groves, he's boxed Billy Joe Saunders. All right, he's come up short, but he's had that experience. There isn't anybody on Conor Benn's resume that you could even suggest has been anywhere near of that sort of calibre of boxer. And he knows his way around the ring, so providing he's not weight.
Algieri was a good fighter, wasn't he?
Excuse me?
Algieri was a good fighter.
Yeah, I'd probably beat Algieri. You know, I'm not really.
You're a three-weight world champion.
I'm not really buying into that. Sorry, I just think he's quite ordinary in the bigger picture.
He was at the end of his career anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was at the end of his career.
Johnny Nelson got into a heated argument with Eddie Hearn after Hearn supported the idea of paying fighter purses directly through tech platforms. Nelson strongly disagreed, saying this could cause problems and upset the usual way fighters are paid. He explained that there are already systems in place to handle payments, and warned that changing them might lead to issues that no one expects.
Staying on the Sun now, mate, did you see that he paid all the undercard fighters from back in 2022 when the first fight was actually cancelled? Do you think that mugged Eddie off a little bit?
Mugged him off, mugged everybody off. Because what Chris did, when he mentioned it in the last press conference, I thought, why is that just slid on the radar? Why does nobody make a big deal of that?
It was a class touch,
That's
man.
a massive touch.
Yeah.
And so all of the promoters, all of them, all of the promoters that are out there, and all of the guys that have got the big bucks, and they're on the top of the card, and the fight that's fallen through. What Chris Eubank Jr. did, to me, was commendable. Because I've been one of those fighters that's turned up for a fight and the fight's been off the night before, and you think everybody's on AJ money. Not everybody's on AJ money. 5% of the fighters are on mad money. 95% of them fighters have to subsidise their career with a second job. So Chris doing that, he's basically saying, Eddie, Conor, come on, step up. These guys all with some developed amnesia. They've gotten deaf and they've forgotten, thinking, Anna. And it's up to the press and the public to put them under pressure and say, shame on you. If he can do it, why are you not doing it? If you love our sport so much, if you care for the fight so much, why are you not doing it? So when he did it, I'm like, you know what? That's a proper drop of the mic.
Fraser Clark shared his thoughts on the intense fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, saying the right man won. He praised both fighters for showing great heart and effort throughout the match. Clark also spoke about how important big fights like this are for British boxing, and said both fighters earned pride and respect for their performances. His comments showed the deep respect the boxing world has for those who step into the ring and give everything they have.
He's a seriously dedicated young man. No one can ever take that away from him. And he's tried his very best. So fair play to him. I'm not his biggest fan. He's not my biggest fan, but I do admire what he goes through, and I do admire the approach that he has. Because this is a boy who, I said this earlier in the week, this kid, as fighters and people that come from where I come from nothing. And I come from a place that's tough and hard. And I had no other way out. And so the 99% of fighters, this is our way out. We dream of getting to them silk pajamas. We dream of going to bed in the silk pajamas and not being able to sleep. This kid was christened in silk pajamas. And he chose to take them off and get in the ring. And Conor's the exact same. So I have a lot of admiration for both of them from that perspective.
In a surprising and emotional moment, Chris Eubank Senior showed up at the big fight between his son, Chris Eubank Jr., and Conor Benn at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This was a big change, as Eubank Senior had earlier spoken out against the fight and had stayed away from his son's boxing career. His appearance showed a possible step toward healing their strained relationship.
Congratulations, Senior.
Congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations, Chris. How are you feeling at the moment?
Just man. It's great of you. Guys, move that back.
Eubank Senior's arrival surprised and excited the 65,000 fans at the stadium. His presence made the event even more special and showed that he and his son might be making up. Nigel Benn, Conor Benn's father and Eubank Senior's old rival, was happy to see him there, calling it a family moment and a sign of their shared history in boxing.
It was a big surprise for us, but when did you decide that you were going to come here on Fight Night tonight?
Okay, so the better way for me to explain it to you is as follows. You have your superconscious mind, which is your spiritual mind, and you have your surface mind or your ego mind. So what you should know is that the superconscious mind was always coming. Now, the surface mind may not have known, but the superconscious mind always knows. And it always does the right thing, because it's always graceful and it's always forgiving. It's always noble. Need I say more?
When did you tell Junior that you were coming?
Now that's another story. The idea is to keep everyone in suspense, otherwise you kind of give away the show. You have bad actors who give away the show, and you have actors who get Oscars.
After the fight, Chris Eubank Sr. said it was important for Conor Benn to fight in the right weight class. He said Benn's choice to fight at a higher weight affected how well he did. Eubank Senior told Benn to stay disciplined and compete at his natural weight in future fights. He also talked about why he came to the event, saying he was there to support his son, Chris Eubank Jr., and to watch the tough fight between the two boxers.
Chris Eubank's here as well. Sir, you turned up to support your son. What a night.
Well, you know, I was always going to be here for my son, irrespective of what you thought. I mean, it's a show. So suspense is part of the game. Now, the performance, championship rounds, standing toe-to-toe, the credit I'm going to give to Conor. I told you he was a superior fighter, but he shouldn't be fighting at 160 or 156. He's a 147 fighter. What couldn't he do around the world? He's been destroyed by the people who are handling him, and they have to be brought to account. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job.
It's great to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Chris Eubank Jr. wants his father, Chris Eubank Senior, to be with him during his fights because he values his experience and advice. For Eubank Jr., their relationship is more than just father and son. It's about having a mentor who gives him strength and guidance. He believes his father is an important part of his team, both for moral support and for using his boxing knowledge during tough fights.
If he's watching this, what would you say to him?
I'm here. I'm getting ready for the biggest fight of my life. If you want to be next to me, like his father next to him, we can do it together. If not, no hard feelings. I'll get the job done for you, don't worry about it.
Do you love him, your dad?
He's my old man. It doesn't matter if I don't talk to him until the day I die, I'm always gonna love him. He taught me everything.
Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, known for his fiery personality and love of sports, shared his prediction before the fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Ramsay said, "I think Chris has got this one," showing he believed Eubank Jr.'s strength and experience would help him win. Ramsay was one of the famous people who came to watch the event at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Who have you got? Ben Eubank. It's whetting everyone's appetite. How do you see it?
It's a tough one, this one. I mean, two phenomenal athletes at the top of their game, so none of them deserve to lose. And jumping up a weight is hard, but jumping up two is even harder. So Chris has got the advantage if it goes past 6. Ben's got to get this done early, otherwise it's going to be Chris's. I predict Chris in round 6.
Rice said he wanted Conor Benn to win because of his connection with Ben and his trainer, Tony Sims. Even though he respected Eubank Jr.'s skills, Rice made it clear who he was supporting. He also praised the bravery it takes to fight in the ring, saying it takes a serious man to get in that ring with 60,000 fans watching. Rice added that he would stick to football because he doesn't think he could handle that kind of pressure.
Coon Cassius, IFL TV, the legendary Declan Rice.
How are you, mate?
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, you?
I'm all good, I'm all good. Give us a prediction for tonight.
Oh, mate, it's a tough fight. I know Conor, I know Tony, so I'm going to have to go for Conor Benn.
What have you made of the whole build-up of this fight, Dex?
It's been crazy. It's obviously settled down last few weeks, but obviously since the egg situation, thought that was crazy. And then obviously yesterday, the weigh-in stuff, that was nuts. So, yeah, I've been really looking forward to coming, to be honest. I've not been to the boxing for ages, so I can't wait.
Last time you come here, wasn't it with Mason Mount?
Yeah, it was AJ against Usyk. The first fight obviously didn't go the right way, so hopefully tonight it does.
Last one, give me some encouragement for Tuesday night, mate.
Yeah, we're confident, mate. First semi-final in, since 2006. It's going to be a big night for the club. We're confident and we're ready.
Free kick juries?
Oh, mate. I know the next one I missed, though, that's going to be the problem now. I'm going to get hammered for it. But yeah, they were special moments as well. Hopefully get another one.
Do you think you could score a better goal than that? Be serious. No. The second goal.
But it's just because it was like back-to-back. It was like there wasn't one or two in between that I missed. It was just, mate, to be honest with you, it still feels weird. It's really, really special. And
do you think they should have a rematch? What changes would you like to see from both fighters? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.